Hey guys, it's Sykes, back with another episode of Miscrits Sunfall Kingdom. Starting in the lovely battle arena, as I am determined to win 5 battles to get Fracture before 2 days, 8 hours and 25 minutes are up. If I have not on screen gotten him before that time is near its end, I will video myself getting him off screen and show it to you guys, but it will not have commentary with it. So apologies in advance if this is the case, but awesome if it isn't, because Fracture looks amazing. I mean, like, the only 2 Miscrits I am currently just amazingly wanting is Fracture and that Minotaur, like that flaming Minotaur, which is unfortunately again an arena exclusive award. So there are some Miscrits that can only be won in an arena match in that particular week when they are on, which is bloody unfortunate, as it would seem that I'm probably only a few weeks late on that. Maybe a couple, maybe even last week it had it, I don't know. Maybe one of you guys can tell me. And wow, it's actually taking a while for me to load. That's unusual. There we go. Alright, so we're up against an AI who actually is looking pretty good to face. Because look at this, he's got mostly wind and rock types, which is excellent for me, as nature seems to be my kind of go-to sort of element here. Although I am slightly skeptical about his last one, which is the nature, which can take out baboons. So I've got to be careful of that. Oh dear, and it would appear that this Elite Rudy has speed over me. Now, I did actually look at Furfin's stats for you guys, because I thought it would be a good idea. And yes, he is a tank. His physical and elemental defense are both great. His physical defense is actually much higher than his elemental defense. So he's actually built to tank physical blows, but he's also quite good at tanking elemental blows, which is really, really good. But it does sort of put me in some tough spots, because his attack is quite low, which is not what I'm usually good with. I'm not, like I said before, I'm not going to be using him with Sunfall. Whoa, holy crap, 117 damage. That's a lot of damage. Alright, let's sprinkle on this Neolith. Oh, look at that, he's so cute. He's like a tiny little rhinoceros with a weird nose. I bet everybody made fun of him at school, and now he's a super powerful Miscrit, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna stop on bitches. I bet that's how the entire story of Neolith happened. Bet you anything that's exactly how it happened. Alright, so we're gonna... Ooh. Oh dear, he found us first. How rude. How awfully, awfully rude. Luckily, my sustain increases my defenses. Woo! Increasing defenses! So hopefully that means this blow will do 2 damage at max. It has done 4 damage. Crap. But with my defenses at now plus 12 for both physical and elemental, I should be able to take a few blows. I am just quickly having a quick... Oh, damn. I didn't take it at all. Shit. Well, there goes that plan. Luckily, they all leveled up, so it doesn't matter. But the idea was I was trying to tank those blows so that I could do damage to him, which would have done about 7 to 9 damage, and then another 7 to 9 damage, and he would have gone down. So if both those other hits had done 1 damage, I would have been fine. I was also looking at my items to see if I had a small heal. So healing potions are quite good in battles, though you can only use 1 of every type of potion in a battle. So I don't mean you can only use 1 heal per battle. I mean, if you have a major heal and a massive heal, you can only use 1 major, 1 massive throughout the entire battle. So it's not too bad, but it's not the greatest either. but that's what I'm currently working with. I think it was saying I have massive heals. Now the problem with this is that all the heals require certain levels. So if you've got a basic heal, whatever the lowest heal is called, that's what everyone can use, but it's not until a certain level that my guys can use probably the massive heal, which I believe will be closer to level 8, level 10, which is a bother. It looks like I'm going to be doing some PvP this round with another person, again who I am jealous of as they have Fracture. And luckily their next one is a Shelby, so even if Fracture defeats Clover and he does damage, Furfin should be able to finish off Fracture and then go on to do some good damage to Shelby. And then the next one is the Petrified Blazebit. So this is where my lineup finally actually pays off slightly. However, it would look like our opponent is not doing anything this round. Oh, last second he decided to switch out. Whenever they switch out, you switch out. You never want to stay in if they've switched out. So this guy's going to be a switcher, so he's going to switch Shelby for Petrified Blazebit, hoping he will get the speed on me. I switch Furfin for Bubbles, hoping I get the speed on him. It doesn't work either way, and he actually now can't bring out anything that is strong against Bubbles, so I have the advantage because I get first attack on him when he had the option to have first attack on me. He now uses his attack, it does whatever, 7, there you go. And I've taken out his Spark Slug. So, this is a lesson for all of you. Don't do that. It's as simple as that. Don't switch unless you have something you can switch to then to defeat it. See, now I've killed his Spark Slug and gotten a hit on Fracture, putting him near death. Yes, my Bubbles is nearly dead and he still has a Fire type which can take out 2 of my types, so it is still possible he's going to win. But in general, I have the upper hand, because this attack should take out Fracture. He'll have to use Shelby to swap to Petrified Blazebit, and then I can probably put up the sustain to tank the attacks and also be able to deal some damage with Elefona. I'm not sure if that will work quite as well as I hoped, but there you go, he was able to tank it for 1 hit. So either way I would have only got off 1 hit with the leaves. But 1 hit with the leaves was all I needed, because with Clover in the waiting for my next Miscrit up now this may all be just a bunch of crap and I may still lose, I can now burn him to death. If he switches to Shelby, I can then simply switch to Furfin and we just have a tag match and eventually one of us will get bored. But it seems that he already has accepted his defeat, as I have the advantage, as now my Clover has done enough damage to destroy his Petrified Blazebit. He now is with just his water, yet I still have a grass type. Bam, set, game, match. And at this level, every attack has 100% accuracy, so unless he can decrease my accuracy magically, there is no way he is getting out of this alive. Shelby has managed to tank 1 attack, but because his water attacks won't do as much damage, the best he can hope for is to use his stat ability to tank, or there you go, he used a minor heal to delay the inevitable, which I think was a pretty stupid move. Just basically wasted a minor heal. Because look, he's back down to the same damage and he's in the exact same position as he was before. That would have worked had he had much higher health. See, that does 3 damage, 1 more vines. GG, good game, Emir. You were pretty stupid this match, but don't take it to heart if you're watching this video. Just remember what I've said and learn for next time. So there you go, that's my first victory for Sunfall Kingdom, I believe. Yep, win a battle at Sunfall Kingdom. So there you go. So there's just some small tips for you guys. If you're going to be a switcher, you have to have exactly what he has to be able to counter it. So in other words, I had a fire, a nature, and a water. He lacked a nature. Without that nature, he couldn't take out my water, meaning he couldn't actually switch to something that would be better than my water, allowing my water to get off 2 hits, take a kill. I was lucky enough that he was also able to tank and get another load of damage on his next miscrit, but had that not happened, I still probably would have won, because with that lineup and the way he was doing it, at the end, as you saw, my Furfin took 3 damage, so probably at the end it would have been Furfin up against Petrified Blazebit with a little bit of health left. He would have gotten off a hit, I would have killed him, he would have gotten off a hit with his last water miscrit Shelby, which probably would have gotten him down to 1 or 2, but still would have died. So he was pretty much relying on luck of speed, which isn't the best idea straight off in the lower levels, because unless you're using miscrits like Cubsprout who specialise in speed, then it's not going to do much. I haven't actually checked the stats of my other team, so all I know is currently that Furfin is a tank. I'm pretty sure that Clover is probably an elemental attacker specialist. Elefuna, I wouldn't be surprised if Elefuna was also a tank. And Bubbles is probably also a special attack specialist. Alright, let's have a look at his lineup. His lineup lacks a fire type, which is good because that would have countered my natures. So that means I can pretty much use Clover with more or less okayness, because even if he springs the Kelper on the Bubbles or whatever, it's not going to do a whole lot, really. And by that time, even if Furfin and Bubbles are dead, Elefuna should be able to easily take out the Waddles. Of course, this is an AI, so you can't expect him to be perfect. However, I am really disappointed in the amount of damage my Furfin is doing. It is a tank, I do understand that, but it would seem also that this Jack is also a tank, as it is also doing very small amounts of damage. There was a 5 and a 6 there. I mean, really? Why? However, luckily I've still been able to get off the kill on Jack. He probably would have been a turnaround had it. Now, Kelper is one of the most annoying starter ones because he doesn't have a stat move. He has that move, which is Confuse, which basically picks your move for you and then picks which to use it on, the opponent or you. So at these early stages, that kind of just says you can get off a free attacks on me. See, look, he's going to take out Bubbles without me even doing damage to him. Oh no. Oh no, yeah, still. See, if the Confuser managed to Shy Smile him or Sprinkle him, it would have done at least a little bit of damage to him. But no. So I've more or less lost this battle now simply because this Kelper has freaking Confuse. It does have a 50% chance miss, so there you go, that time it missed, so it was in my favour. So I'm able to get off the sustain. He's going to go for another Confuse, which will miss again, which is great, because then I can get off another sustain. I won't sustain again, because I think if I sustain again, I'll only get plus 13, which isn't the best. But hopefully with those sustains, even if he confuses me, I'll be able to take both his attacks and mine, and Waddles when he comes out. I only need to get off 1 more leaves to take out this Kelper, which is excellent, and luckily it missed. So I guess the bad side of the Confuse is if it does miss constantly, then you're pretty much screwing yourself over. But as you saw before, he was able to single-handedly take out both Furfin and Bubbles really quickly, really easily with those Confusers. However, I did get off the win because he missed 3 times in a row, which was able to get off some sustain, which in the end would have given me a victory most likely anyway, because he wouldn't have been able to do as much damage to me as I could to him. Alright, so these are all just little tips of how I play. Now I'm sure pros do it a different way and are exceedingly amounts of better than me, but this is how I do it, this is how I recommend it. You don't have to do it the way I do it, because I honestly don't think that's going to be the best way to do it, but you never know. So while we're here, we might just have a quick look at the stats to see if I can prove or disprove my theories about who is what and what is what. Okay. So we'll start with Clover. I said he was a special attacking in Elemental specifically, and it would look like I was right. His Elemental attack is at 16, His defenses are pretty good as well, and his physical attack is shit. But he's also got quite a bit of health and not bad at speed, so he's also partially tanky. You can see that he's definitely tanky because he's got 20 health, 16 in elemental defense, and 15 in physical defense. I think it's a bit different from other Furfin though, in Volcano Island. Again, like I was correct, an elemental attacker, 19 elemental attack, so he's very good at elemental attacking, and he's also very good at elemental defense. However, he's crap at both physical attack and defense, so he's really good at being placed up against fire and even grass, because grass won't be able to do that much damage to him because he's got so much defense. Whereas Elefuna I was a bit wrong about. Elefuna is more of a roundhouse, because if you look, all of his stats are more or less the same, except for physical attack. His physical attack is slightly worse than his elemental attack, but his elemental defense and physical defense are both the same. So he's an all-round type. I usually like all-round types, but I don't know if that's going to stay the same. It might not. But I don't really like Elefuna as a Miscrit, honestly. I just don't fancy him. It's just... don't know. It's just a nature elephant. The idea was good. He's kind of cute. He does have a flower on his head. And he does look like a boss in his final evolution, I'll give him that. But I don't know, I just don't like him. I don't think I have a reason. I don't like you, Mr. Elefuna. You are not elephant. Pun intended. Looks like we'll be versing another AI this time round. Lacks water, but he does have a dual elite freedom, which scares me slightly. So I'm definitely going to want to pull out my baboons on him later on. Now this is the good thing about Clover. Because his elemental attack is so high, even though Leggy got the first move on me, I was able to do more damage taking him out. And because of his health, he's also quite tanky. So I'm interested to see what the AI will do now that I have chosen to bring out Bubbles. Oh, he won't be able to do anything because I actually get the first attack off. Sweet. That's awesome. And with his super high elemental attack and everything, he was able to do more than enough damage for me to not care about him anymore, and Cubsprout made the interesting choice of using a physical attack. Well, I guess that's really the correct choice. It sounds like an interesting choice because of his vines, but if you remember his stats, he's very good at elemental defense, so it probably would have worked more in his favor to use the swipe rather than try and do other things. Now he's bringing back the freedom. I'm not really scared of this freedom now because Furfin should be able to tank it. He did. Awesome. He can get off an attack, and it may be interesting to see if my all-round Elefuna can defeat the Poltergeist, or whether the Poltergeist will get the best of Elefuna. As usual, I will first go for the sustain so that his defenses are higher. Once his defenses are higher, when I get off my attacks, that should guarantee a win for me. So his defenses are now plus 12, which is excellent. He did 5 damage last breeze, so this one should be around 3. Whoa, it did another 5. What the fuck? The hell? Alright, let's just go with leave, see what happens. Oh wow, that actually did 10 damage. Sweet. I wasn't expecting it to do that much. As long as it can do another 10 damage, I'm fine. Or if he does another 4 damage. So let's hope for both. Oh, please don't kill me. Who's the better to kill me? Yeah, it's gonna kill me. Oh no, it didn't. Awesome. Sweet, I've won this round. That's what sustain will do for you. So I don't know how it did more damage before and then went down. I might have to look into that. But that's that. Anyway, thank you for watching. Remember to hit a like and favourite and subscribe and watch more, and I'll see you all next